Hello everyone, welcome to Math Learning Hub, a hub for everybody who loves math. So today we're going to be learning how to quickly multiply by 125 in your head. So there are two steps to this process. The first being to divide the other number by 8, and the second being to multiply the number you get as a result by 1000. And you might ask, well, why is this the case, right? Well, that's just because 125 here is just 1000 over 8, right? 125 is 1000 over 8. This is why this process works. And usually you can do steps in 1 and 2 in any order, but for me, I just usually find it easier to divide by 8 first. So that being said, let's just jump into our first problem, which is 125 times 48. So first of all, you would divide the other number, which is 48, by 8, right? So 48 over 8 is 6, right? So it's 6. And then when you multiply 6 by 1000, you just get 6,000. And that should be your answer for problem 1. So next we have the second problem, which is 37 times 125. So you notice when we try to do step 1, which is divide the other number by 8, we find out that 37 is actually not divisible by 8, right? Well, how do we work around this? Well, let's just do what we can, right? So 37 over 8, that's just going to be, what about we write it as 4 and 5/8, right? 4 and 5/8, because 8 times 4 is 32, and then you have 5 left over, 4 and 5/8. Okay, step 1 is complete. And then step 2 is to multiply by 1000, right? The reason I write it as a mixed number here is because when you multiply 4 and 5/8, or other words, 4 plus 5/8 times 1000, that's just 4 times 1000 plus 5/8 times 1000 by the distributive property, right? And then you know that this here is 4000. And then what's 5/8 times 1000, right? What's 5/8 times 1000? Well, for this trick and for many other problems as well, I highly recommend you memorize this table down here. And this is the decimal representation of fractions that are a multiple of 1/8, right? I highly, highly recommend you memorize these fractions. So looking from this table, 5/8 is equal to 0.625, right? So 5/8 times 1000 is just going to be 0.625 times 1000, which is just going to be 625, right? So this here is 625. So you have 4000 plus 625, and you get 4625, right? So that should be your answer here, 4625. So of course you could have done this like with brute force, keeping on dividing 37 by 8 until you get 4.625 and then multiplying by 1000, right? That could work as well. However, if you memorize the table at the bottom, I highly recommend the way that I just showed you because it makes things a lot easier, expedites the process so much more. Finally, let's move on to our last problem, which is 125 times 244. So our first step is to divide 244 by 8, right? So 244 over 8, well, you notice that it's not evenly divisible by 8 either, right? So here you get 3, and you get, not 3, you get 30. You get 30 here, and then you also get 4 left over, right? 30 and 4 left over. So I'm just going to write this as 30 and 4/8, right? And let's see. Let's do the same process that we did in the last problem. So let's multiply this by 1000. 1,000. So 30 plus 4/8 times 1,000. That's just going to be 30 times 1,000 plus 4/8 times 1,000. So let's see if we can simplify this a bit here, right? So 30 times 1,000 is just going to be 30,000, right? So that's 30,000 plus 4/8 times 1,000. You could recognize 4/8 as 1/2, which is 0.5, or you could just memorize that 4/8 is 0.5, or you could look at the table to see that 4/8 is 0.5. And when you multiply 0.5 times 1,000, you just get 500, right? So that is going to be 30,000 plus 500, and this is going to be 3,500 for your final answer. So just for the sake of making things easier to read, I'm going to highlight the final answers here. And that should be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you learned a lot here. I have just included some practice problems in red for you to practice when this video is over, and the answers will be posted in the description. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video. Bye!